In 1973, the Middle East was once again plunged into conflict, as Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur. The Arab states sought to regain the territories lost to Israel in the Six-Day War of 1967, and to humiliate Israel on the international stage. They had spent months planning and preparing for this attack, and the element of surprise was on their side. Israel was caught off guard, but quickly mobilized its army and air force to counter the attack. The war that followed was brutal and bloody, and would change the course of history in the Middle East. The fighting raged for 3 weeks, and casualties on both sides were high. Israel suffered heavy losses in the initial stages of the war, but eventually regained the initiative and began to push back against the Arab armies. The turning point of the war came when Israel launched a daring counterattack across the Suez Canal, and encircled the Egyptian Third Army. This move forced the Egyptian government to agree to a ceasefire, and paved the way for negotiated settlement. The Yom Kippur War had far-reaching consequences for the Middle East. It led to a shift in the balance of power in the region, with Israel emerging as the dominant military force. It also shattered the myth of Arab invincibility, and forced Arab leaders to recognize the need for a political solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But the human cost of the war was enormous. Tens of thousands of soldiers and civilians lost their lives, and the scars of the conflict are still felt today. The Yom Kippur War was a pivotal moment in the history of the Middle East, and a reminder of the high price of war. But it also showed that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope for peace. In 1970